Hi, I'm Shivam and I'm a BCA graduate. I'm 20, here to demonstrate a Python tutorial without even downloading Python. Just go on your favorite browser, Google Colab. Okay, so it will show you this. Click on the first link. This will be the screen, must be popping up. Python tutorial is the Jupyter notebook file that I have already been working on just for this tutorial only. I'll be starting it all over again. Don't worry, I'll show you each and everything that I have done in here. This was just another YouTube video I was doing for. Wait, so it is connected right now. We are good to go and start. So first of all, let me show you that how to add comments in Python. Okay, comments in Python. By the way, I have hit hold shift and press enter to execute and enter the next line or cell. To add text, click on here. To add code, add in here. To make it neat and tidy, delete it from here. And then to add the comment, press the pound sign, and whatever here, this will be a comment. Whatever you will be doing in there, Python won't do anything to it. Okay, so first of all, let's write a hello world program. So hello world program, how will you write? Print is a function in Python. Parenthesis is showing that this is a function. Whenever Python's interpreter sees this print statement, it will be like whatever in the parenthesis under the single quotes or the double, I have to print it as it is. Hello world. Shift enter. Hello world. Okay, so please just big round of applause for you guys. You have written your first Python program. Now the second thing, when you will be using single quotes, print if I use single quotes instead of double, it will show me the same. Okay, syntax error is I am so sorry, mistyped. Okay, so under these single quotes I have written this hello world, and it is working exactly the same like double quotes, because Python accepts both single quotes and double. But what if you have to have, or if you want to write a single quote between your string, if you click shift plus enter, it will show an error, invalid syntax. So to avoid this thing, we use double quotes, and we usually write our code in double quote, and boom, it's printing the single quotes itself. For the time being, let's remove this. Okay, now our second topic is variables. Then now what variables really are? Variables are the simple, like x is a variable, x, y, z is also a variable, but x, comma, y, comma, z are the three variables. Let's go ahead with the one variables for start. Okay, now if I say x equals 5 and hit shift enter, Python will take x and put the value 5 in x, and Python will be like, interpreter will be like, okay, this is the x and it holds the value of 5. Now we'll take another variable and assign a value of 5, okay, 6 to it. Now Python is having two variables, one is x and one is y. X is having the value of 5 and y is having the value of 6. If you want to overwrite the value of x and y again, let me show that what x and y really are. If I write x and shift enter, it must show me 5. If I write y and shift enter, it must show me 6. And if I write again that if you want to assign both of the values at the same time, like x and y equals to 8 and 9, it will override the 5 and 6 and assign 8 value to x and 9 value to y. If we hit shift enter, it doesn't show any error message because it is the right syntax. And if I hit X and shift enter, it must show me 8. And if I hit Y and shift enter, it will show me 9, because these are the new values that are assigned to it. If I use any arithmetic operators to these things, like x plus y, shift enter, 8 plus 9, 17, and x dot y, it means x raised to the power y. If I hold shift and press enter, it will calculate and give me the results. And whatever the arithmetic operator you're going to use, Python will accept it and will show you the results. Okay, now the second thing, what if I am the user and I want to make a calculator that do only addition? Only addition, yes, only addition. We are going to start a program. We are going to write our first Python program here. Okay, let's get started. Input is a function. Function go with a parenthesis. Parentheses always have some parameter. Under these parameter, if you want to take input, you will write input function, and in the input function we'll write enter the first number. And if the user will enter the first number, we have to store it somewhere, right? Let's say we want to store it in x. We'll write x equals the input, and then we'll write y equals input, enter the second number, and then I want to print the result is as follows, and print. This is I'm using it for the next line. Once I'm done with this, I'll let you know that how to start the next line. Okay. Fine. X plus y. So let's make it more descriptive and add some messages here also. Print, just to make it fun. Enter two numbers to add them, and then let's say hit enter. Okay, enter the two numbers to add them up. Enter the first number, 12. Okay, wait, I have to enter it here, 12. Enter the second number, 13, and the result is 1213. That is not right. Yes, that's exactly what the Python does. It will treat anything in the print statement as a string. So if 12 is a string, Python don't know that this is Python will assume that whatever you will enter, you are going to enter in the print statement, it is a string. So how you'll convert it into integer? So this clears our one more topic, that how you will convert a string into a integer. Trust me, this is seriously a important topic, conversion of string to int. So let's talk to Python. Hi Python, this is x, and please, whenever user inputs something into x, please convert it into int. And int, this is your syntax that will satisfy you. Y is also an integer type thing, and whenever user will put y, please make sure that you convert it into integer whenever you work with it. So, and you're seeing here that this don't have any space in between, and this is not looking good. So being professional, try to be professional, and add this \n to these lines, and whenever the Python will see \n, it will change the cursor into the next line just like this. So it will make us enter the value in the next line. Hold shift, press enter, and boom, again. Let's try it again. The result is 25. So yes, whenever you okay, one more thing, whenever you are working with variables here, do not I request you guys, please, in bold text, do not use arithmetic operators in the start of the variable. Do not use any digit in the start of variable. It will show an error. Do not do not use any special character either. I mean special character either. Pound will make it a comment. So these are something that you won't be using before variables. Make sure that you declare them properly, otherwise I'll show an error. Let's talk about numbers now. So numbers are of three types: int, float, and complex. So let's take a variable x and assign value 5 to it, and we will then try to print the type of the same integer. Let's take another variable and assign a value 6.0 to it, and try to print the value of y. It will show us float. Now what is happening is this function print type of y. Let's take another variable z and assign a complex number to it. So complex number is in the form of 6 plus 5j. Now what is j? J is the imaginary part, imaginary sorry if I am mistaken the spelling of imaginary. So let's j is the whatever it is, imaginary part. So j is the imaginary part here, and Python take j only as the imaginary part. So z is a complex number that is in the form of x6 plus 5j, and j is the imaginary part again. Let's try to print the value of the type of z, so it is complex. So now let's say, I know a perfect different word for imaginary. It's fugazi. So you must have seen that movie. It is from that movie, Wolf of Wall Street. Okay, that's a seriously amazing movie. I love that. So now we'll try to perform some different predefined function. In my upcoming videos, I'll tell you how to make your own function and call them and make them do specific tasks. But Python has already have some predefined functions. Let's discuss some of them, a couple of them. The first I'm going to use is abs function. It returns the absolute value of any integer in it. It will show, look, so it is showing the absolute value of this. If I put a complex number, if you want to know the value, absolute value of 6 plus 5j, then it can do it for you. Here it is. And let's say this is how you call a function. Here the function is abs, parenthesis is telling Python that abs is the function that I want to call, and in this parenthesis you will pass an parameter. Let's discuss another function, that is round function. It will just seriously round function. What round function do, it just round off the number. Let's say we have the number 5.2. if I run this, it is showing there because I don't know the spelling of round. It is not TD. Here 5. If I just to cross check it is 6. Okay. Now if you want to round off 5.65698 till the third digit, then you can add a comma and place whatever the digit you want to round off, like after how many decimal place you want to round off the digit. Like I want to do it by 3 and hold shift enter. It will round 3 digits after the decimal point. So what is happening here? Python is getting into this block. It is checking that round is a function and this is the parameter, this is the argument, and according to these two parameters I have to perform this round function on this value that I have passed. So we are going to talk about functions first. So what are functions? Functions are the bunch of code that do specific task, and if you want to do the task repeatedly, we make function out of them. And once we are done making function of those tasks, or we are done making function of that particular thing, we can call them anytime that when we want to perform that same task again, so that will save our time. I'm connecting this to Python 3, and once it is connected we can start the code. So let's get into it. Please just get started. So okay, we are good to go, and I'll let it done on its own. So how you define a function is def. Def means define, and we are defining a function. So defining a function is super easy. Let's just talk to the Python and say it, or I don't know, he or she or whatever. Okay, so define a function for, okay, Python, define a function for me that is greet function. Whenever I come to, or any user come to this place, you have to greet him by saying, okay, whenever you make a function, don't forget to put a colon after that, and if you hit enter after that, you see these two spaces. These two spaces are indentation. Python interpreter needs those, and these are important whenever you are doing these things. And Python is a interpreter based language, and indentation is there because Python is the way it is, so indentation is important. Either you press tab like this, or if you are in some other IDE or notepad, you may go 4 spaces ahead, but that really doesn't matter. If you are hitting tab, that's enough indentation. Okay, let's start. We just want to print hello user, and if I come back in here and call the function greet and press shift plus enter and execute this command, it will say me hello user. Okay, hi Python. Now if you're to make you much familiar with it, I want to let you know the flow of the program. Print, let's say 1 2 3 4. This is going to execute first. Let's copy this, C, Control V, and this is going to execute last. So what happens is whenever Python see or scroll down in this cell, Python will be like, okay, I have to print this statement, I have printed this, okay, so there is a function that I want to perform. Okay, where is the function, where is the function, here is the function, and in this function definition it says just print hello world. Okay, it's super easy. So I will print hello user here, and then here is another statement to print, a lot of things to print. Okay, so this is the print statement and I will print this. So what is happening is Python will go top to down here, first meeting with the print statement, then greeting, then this print again. So this is the flow of the program. So let's just remove these two lines and make our piece or chunk of code more pretty, like more user driven, rather than automatic. So, or you can say I want to make it more interactive, because things are interactive these days. So I want to check what is the name of the user and what is the age of the user. So as you already know, I'm passing these two parameters in here. Parameters are the piece of information that we are giving to the function that might be used in the function while defining the function, or while creating a function, while writing the code or bunch of lines for the function. So let's say hello, instead of user I'll say the name hello, name of the user, and then you are this much old. Okay, this you are okay, you are 30 or 40, whatever the age will be, you are this. Okay, and then if I just go ahead and type name equals, or you can say this is name is a variable and I have to pass it in there. Name is, or first of all let me show you that you can also give the parameters in here, like the name is Mike and the age is 30. If I execute the program, hi Mike, you are 30. Okay, Mike already knows that. And let's say some, okay, control set, and if I copy this function and execute it again with two different values, hi John, you're 20, like it will be like hello Mike, you're 30, hello John, you are 20. Okay, so what is happening is we have to tell the program like these are the persons and these are their ages, and you have to greet them when they will come in. So what I want to do is, I don't want Python to work automatically. I want Python to work as per user need, and that's what programmers do and developers or applications do. So what we are going to do here, we let the user who are using the program input their name and their age. So name is whatever. So input function is a function that makes us, and I have already discussed it in the previous video, that's why I was saying, but still I'm going to tell you why. What is this print function? Print function let you input some things, or you can say some, it enables user to interact or to give any input to make desired results or to deliver. It helps program, or program needs these inputs to deliver the results. So input, what I want to get input for is enter your name, and I'll copy this and enter your age, Okay, first and foremost thing, if I run it like this, it's gonna show me error at one point. If I'll be like, okay, my name is Mike and I am 30 years old, it's gonna show me error that these two parameters are missing. So what are these two parameters? While calling the function, I haven't specified these parameters that were required. That was the name and the age. So you have to make sure that whenever you call the function, you should specify these things. Okay, enter your name Mike again, enter your age 30 again. Hi Mike, hello Mike, you're 30. So what is happening in here? Let's see. What happened is I am putting a string and it is getting done again and again. So whenever you will run it again, it is going to do this. My name is, let's say, Rob, and my age is 20. Hello Rob, you're 20. So big round of applause. You have made your first function and executed it smoothly. So just like we have written this function greet, all these function like friend function, type function are defined somewhere in the Python's documentation, or it comes with Python itself. So these functions have enable us to do some specific tasks. So let's go ahead and know some more thing. If I just iterate some things with our program, and just to make you clear of some concepts more, these concepts are, the first one is type conversion. Let's say I am saying that my name is Mike, and as the Mike is string, the name is string, and it is text, it is a string type, we are making it in double quotes, and age is the integer, so we don't have to make it in double quote. We can just seriously tell them that this is. So if I click, it will show an error. Why? What is the error? Is must be a string, not integer. That is because print function thinks that whatever I'm going to input in name and age, in name and age, it is going to be a string, but the age is not the string, so we have to convert age into string when we are getting the input from the user. So how to convert the string thing in age factor to int, or the int thing in the age factor to string? We'll simply write str and put a parenthesis around age, and let's try to run it again. Okay, hello Mike, you are 30, and this is now completely fine. And let's make my program a complete. So here the program is completed, and we have already know how to convert. Let me tell you again just to clear the topic. Okay, we'll discuss now that how conversion works. To make you guys familiar with conversion from one type to another, let's take a variable x and assign a small integer to it, like 123. Okay, we'll execute this to make sure that we have assigned it correctly. We will delete this to make it more tidy. And now let's let you know guys that what is the type of this variable x. Let's print the type. So the type must be print. X type is int, And now I'm going to show you that how you can manipulate x into, you know, how you can manipulate x that is an int type to a x that is a float type. Just to convert this, I can say x is equal to float x, and if I print x again and hold shift plus enter, it will show me something like, just wait, it is trying to reconnect. Oh, okay, so hi again guys, there was some problem with my Wi-Fi and now it is fine. Our program is up and running. Python is connected to Google Collaboratory. And so here, what we have done, I must tell you again, x is a variable that I have defined or declared and assigned a value of 123 to it, which was an integer. And then I made a declaration that, hey Python, x is a variable that I have defined, please just make it float. And this is the syntax that how you will create it float. And please print x just to make my viewers see that yes, you have done your work correctly and I have done mine. And print the type of x2 just to make double check. So here it is, our output. How it will make it a float value is 123.0 is the float value of 123 as an integer, and the type of x now is, that is 123.0 is float. Now let me show you that how it converted into a string. If I again run it, now it is a string. If I add something to it, just to make you guys sure that it is a string, like a triple sure that it is a string, I'll take number 852, or you can say let's just take a small number, let's say 2. Okay, so y is equal to 2, x is equal to string x, y is equal to string y is equal to string y. And let's print x plus y, and let's just get rid of this print statement. Let's comment it out and execute our program, and it will show you stry is, okay, I'm so dumb that I don't know the spelling of str. It is str. Let's run it again, and 1232, which is exactly not the addition of 123 plus 2 is 125, but it is showing 1232 because it is accepting these two numbers as a string, and it is just concatenating these two strings together, neglecting that they are numbers. So that made it 1232. What are lists? So lists are something that stores infinite, or you can say n number of data. You can store as much data as you want in a list. So how you define a list is, let's say friends. I have a list of friends that my friends are, let's say, Mike, Ron, okay, Robert, John. So first and foremost thing, how you will print this list is simple. Just write print and the name of the list, friends, and your list is printed. Now how you will access particular element in your list, like you want to access the element or the item that is on index position of 1. Okay, I haven't mentioned any position, my num block was off. So this is how you access the element that is on position 1. I just want to tell you guys that Mike is on position 0, Ron is on position 1, Robert is on 2, and John is on 3. What if I put a negative sign here and hold shift plus enter? It accesses John. What is happening is Python consider John is on 0, 1, 2, 3, third index number, and also if we try to access the list from behind or data of our list from behind, John is on -1 position, Robert is on -2, Ron is on -3, and Mike is on -4. Now let's say you want to access all the elements from index number 1 to the end. Just type 1 and a colon. It will access all the elements including the index number 1 until the end. Now what if I want to access, let's add one more name to her to let you guys more familiar, Karen, just to illustrate you this better. Now I want to access index position from index position 1 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Now Python will access Ron, Robert and John, but not Karen, because Python is like that. It will include first index value but not include last index value, I mean this fourth value. If you want to gain access on fourth value, just type 5 and shift enter. You'll be accessing Karen also, but 5 is not the valid. It is sort of valid in this kind of a situation, but it is not a standalone valid index because it will give you an error like this. Yeah, okay, so let's say so now you know how to access some particular index in a list. Now if I give you another list, let's say numbers, this is a list of numbers, I mean integer numbers. You can really put any kind of information in the list, like from string type to integer type, complex numbers, anything, floating point numbers, anything. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 5, 35, 64, 94, that's it. I think that's enough. Now what if you want to add this data, this numbers data, to your friends data, this list to your friends list? To combine both of the data, you'll write friends, simply write friends, and then call the function extend, and then type in what is the data that is needed to get connected or to get merged with friends, that is numbers, and hold shift plus enter. There you go. Now the second function that is predefined and I want to discuss with you guys is append function. Append function, what append function do, it just add one more element or a specific element that you want to insert in your current list. Let's say you want to add a friend's name. Mike is already there. Okay, Bose. Oh my god, Bose. It will just add it to the last index. Now what if you want to insert it into a specific index? You have another function for it that says that is insert function. Insert function takes two values. One is the value that you want to enter, that is the value or the item number, and at the index that you want to enter on. Let's say 2. 2 is the index. I want to enter the Bose value to the second index. What it will do, it will put the second value, I mean put the Bose in the second index and push the others to one index further. Now, what if you want to remove a certain item from the list? Let's say I want to remove Bose from the list. Remove Bose from the list. Let's delete this. It takes only one parameter. Okay, X is not in the list. Oh my god. Okay, X is not in the list because I haven't added Bose in the list like permanently. It is just a function value. Let's say I want to remove Ron. Okay, Ron is removed now. Let's say you want to clear all of your list at once. So you will simply write clear function friends dot clear and hold shift plus enter. It will just return you out a simple empty list. Now another important function is pop function. What pop function will do, it will just remove the last element that you have entered into list. Let's say it is a stack or pile of files. You have put it the first file, my second, third, fourth. Pop will remove the last entered file in the list or in the stack. So pop function do this. Let's talk about one more function, or you can say inbuilt function, that how you gonna access or you gonna know the index value of a specific item. Just write index and then the item name. Let's say I want to know the index value of Ron. Hold shift enter. It will give me the value 1 0 1. Ron is on index value 1, that's why it is the output 1. Now what if you want to sort the list? Next is how you sort the list. Friends, simply write friends dot sort and hold shift plus enter. It will sort all the elements alphabetically in ascending order. Now what if you want to let's do it with numbers first and print numbers too. Okay, numbers 1 2 35 64 94. That's why I have taken this integer values in the second list to let you guys know more in depth that what the sort function do exactly. So tuples, the main difference between tuples and lists. First, let's talk about similarities. Tuple is like lists, is a data structure in which we can store any kind of data which we don't want to mutate in future. I mean, if you don't want to change or modify data in future, you store it in tuple. The best example for a tuple is coordinates. So let's say you want to make a figure and you have coordinates for it, so you would prefer to store it in a tuple format or tuple data structure so that no one can change it afterwards. So let's see how you declare tuples or how you define tuples, how you create tuples exactly. So coordinates equals, let's say 4,5, and this goes in parentheses. So this is how you create or initialize a tuple. Now if you just want to print it out, you will write print statement and under parentheses just write coordinates, and in the square brackets just write the index value that you want to print out. Let's say index value 1. So in this case 4 is at index value 0 and 5 is at index value 1. So here it is connecting to Python 3, my Google Collaborate tree. Once it's connected, it will start, I think. Yeah, there should be no problem. Okay, so yes, here you go, 5. As I have told you before, any index you pass here will reflect in here, because this is the way you print tuples. If I write 0 here and hold shift plus enter, it will give answer you out 4. In the most of the cases, what you do to make some good storable data, or in the wide way how tuples are actually used, is you just make a list of tuples. Let's say I have 3 coordinates for making a triangle, and here are the 6 and 7. So these are all imaginary, hence it may be controversial that these can't be the coordinates or that. It is just for example basis. So this is how you can also create a bunch of tuples under a list format. So this is what exactly how you create tuple and how you access tuples. So let's move ahead with our next topic, and that is loops. In this video we are going to talk about especially for loops. So what for loops are exactly? Okay, for loops. For loops are nothing but it is a kind of loop or a code that continues running until it satisfies a condition. To illustrate it more simply, we'll take a list, like I have a list of fruits, F-R-U-I-T, fruits. And how you initialize a list or how you declare a list is, I have already talked about it in my previous lesson. Here it is. So this is a kind of a list that I was talking about. This is also a list. So let's make a list and initialize it with square brackets. Let's say my first apple item number or fruit, you can say apple, mango, and banana, B-A-N-A, banana. So what if you want to print this whole list by a loop, or by using a loop? So for x is a variable that we are initializing in for loop to make it count, or you can say it is just a variable that hold the value to print it out. Or once I complete it, you will get familiar that what it is doing exactly. It will be used to access the list. So for x in fruits, we'll print x, and if I hold shift plus enter, it is saying apple, mango, and banana. So what is going on here is x is used to access each item in the list one by one until the list comes to an end. Now this loop will again and again will be executed until the listing or either the condition is satisfied. So where you can put conditions in a for loop. Let's take this example only, and we'll try to print this list until it finds mango in the list. Okay, so if we'll take a condition here. If else is a conditional statement, so we'll talk about it later. If x is equal to equals and equals means this value will completely be equal to a mango. So until and unless this x finds mango, this loop will be executed, and then we'll break the loop. What break does is, when this condition will be satisfied, it will break whenever it sees mango and this condition will be satisfied, it will break the loop and print the statements or print the result. What happens is, first x will be equal to apple, then the program continues and it checks that if x is equal to apple, it's not. Okay, so it means that it needs to be executed further. So once it does, it will move on to the next fruit and will compare it again with mango. Okay, it does, and it will break the statement and print out the both of the result. Now what if you want to print a lists item till mango but excluding mango? Now what will happen, you just have to cut print statement from here and place it right beneath it. That doesn't mean that if I am doing it in a bad mannered way, but to be more illustratable, we'll write it like in here. Let's code it all again. Okay, so for x and fruits, if x is equal to okay, there are three equals to now, equal to mango, break otherwise, and this print is for this. Now the print that I'm going to write here, this one, print x, this print is for this loop, not for this, because it is idented with this but not with this. So this is a complete other function and this whole is another function. So if I run it, it will show me just apple, because when it find the mango, it will break and won't print anything. So this is completely what are for loops and what are its users. And let me show you one more thing. For x in, let's say, banana, for x in banana, let's comment it out. For x in banana, print x. What will happen? This. Okay, so what it's doing is, it is looping through this string only, and that is exactly what it's doing here. X is first equal to b, a, n, that. First x will be equal to b, and then it will come in the loop and will see, okay, I have to print x. It will print, and then x will be equal to a is here, n is here, a is here, n is here, a is here. So that's all about what are lists, how you declare them, what are tuples, how you declare them, what is the major difference between tuples and lists, and also I have told you about what are for loops. So let's define a function first. How we define a function is def. Now let's say we want to make a function to cube a number. Let's say cube is the function, that we want to create, and this is the syntax that we use to create a function. Let's say that I want to pass a parameter in here that is number, a number kind of thing. So we'll take a parameter from the user, that what kind of number you want a cube for, and cube is the name of a function, def is the syntax that we use, or it is a statement kind of a thing, or a keyword that is used to tell Python that we are going to make a function. So these two spaces that you are seeing in here, and if I hit tab, my cursor will move 2 spaces forward, and this is called indentation. Indentation is also a syntax part of Python. If you don't do it properly, it will show you errors. So let's get started. If I write num multiplied by num and multiplied by num in here, outside this function, let's try to call this function with a complete parameter. Let's say that I want to cube 4, and hit hold shift, press enter. So it is not returning anything. To make it return something and make our function work, so what is happening here is that our cube function doesn't have any syntax error, so that's why it's not showing any syntax error. But there is a error that we are not printing any values, we are not getting any values out of my function. To make it return something, we have to mention please return num into num into num, making num whatever the function I pass, whatever the integer I pass in parameter, just make a cube of it. If I hold shift plus enter, it will give me 64. That is right, and that is the cube of 64 only, 4 only. So let's say that to make it more interactive, let's take an input from the user, so that a user can really in the real world interact with this program and get out the numbers that he want to, or you can say to get out the specific results. Input, enter the number to cube it, and let's put it in number itself. Number equals and cube this number. So let's say this is our program, and if we run it, enter a number to cube it is 4, hit enter. Okay, it's can't multiply non-int of type string, can't multiply the sequence by non-int of type string. Okay, so what is happening here is, whenever I take an input from a user like this, it always convert this variable, specific variable num that we are taking input in, or we are storing input in, it will treat it as a string. Here it is, can't multiply the sequence by non-int of type string. It means that this number, Python is treating it like a string, and Python, it's not a Python fault, I'd like to. So like in the previous video we have done here, we need to convert it into integer type. So in here only, between these lines, I'll write, hi Python, just convert my num into a int type of data type. That's okay. So if I hit or continue to execute the program, and hit 4 in here, so it will give me 64. So that's how it is working. Let's put a backslash in here to make it count, and hold shift plus enter, and now it's looking better and tidy. So this is how return statement works. So let's discuss what is if-else statement or elif statement. Elif is a statement we usually use when we want to create a nested if-else statements. So let's get started. let's say we are doing comparison between two numbers. um, we will take A as 35 and B as 45, and then we say if A is equal to B, then print A and B are equals. If A is greater than B, print A is greater than B. Let's put it in a double quote or single, whatever. And then we'll write either if it will be greater than or smaller than or equal to. There is no condition other than that. So else print. So we have done for equal and greater, we'll write other than B is greater than A, or A is smaller than B, whatever you like with. So if I hold shift and press enter, it will be saying B is greater than A. So what is happening here? A and B are two variables that have been stored. 35 and 45 are two values that have been stored in B and A as integer data structures, or you can say data spaces. Now if A is equal to B, Python is thinking that this is the message that I have to print. Elif is something like else or if else. You can say if not this, then do that, and if not that, then do this again. So if the A and B conditions are not satisfied here or here, Python is gonna print this else statements anyways. So that is all about what is conditional statements, if statement, else statements, and elif statements. Back to dictionaries. How you make dictionaries is just give your dictionary a name. So what I'm doing here is I'm making weak conversions, and I'll specify some values or key values like Monday, for Monday, MON, just like this. Then put a comma here, and then the second key values, that is Tuesday, TUE for Tuesday. So let me complete it for you guys, just a second. So here are the all values. So now what happened when you call something from in here, usually we call like just add a print statement, and we want to print our dictionary weak conversion, but not the whole dictionary, just a value or key value that will show you or deliver you a output containing the corresponding or associated value or a piece of information that you have provided along with your key value itself. So if I write MON in here, so Python is case sensitive, you don't have to do it. Not Python is case sensitive, but this dictionary is case sensitive. So if you hold shift plus enter, it will show you Monday. So that is the value that is associated with our MON 3-digit key. So the couple of things you can do here is there is also a get function that will do the same thing for you. What get function is doing here is the same thing but in a different way. So it is all a predefined function to get you clear about what get function exactly, why it is useful or why it is made. So the thing is, let's assume that you're making a dictionary app, mobile app for Android users, let's say, and after that, you're what you're going to do is, um, let's say if some user of your dictionary enter a value that not exists in your dictionary. So let's say non is a value that is not anywhere in our in this dictionary as a key value. So what we'll do is, instead of giving me a function or giving me a error or type error, it will display this none. And to get it done more in a tidy way, what you can do is, the please enter a valid key. So what is Python doing exactly is, this is a default value that Python will throw every time you enter a invalid key value that does not exist in your dictionary itself. So one more thing you can, if I hit shift enter, it will show you this. So one more thing I want to tell you guys is, you can have, instead of strings, also integers here. So instead of Tuesday you can have 2, instead of Wednesday you can have 3, and if I hold shift enter, or let's say in here enter the value 3 and hold shift plus enter, it will going me invalid value because it is treating 3 here as a string, but it's not, it's an integer. And if I hold shift enter again, it will going to show me Wednesday. And to justify, or you can say justify my statement that I have made just a couple of seconds ago, we'll do this. So this is how you manipulate Python to get the work done exactly. So that's everything about dictionary, complete basic of get function. You can do as complex programming as you can with dictionary. You can make a whole lot of app. This is a very interesting and, you can say, very useful function that has existed in the, or moreover function, it is a, you can say, method or a data structure that Python use to store some key values and some information associated to it. So what are while loops? While loops are a block of code. Whenever we want to do a single task again and again, there are a lot of conditions, or lot of situation. As a Python developer or a data engineer or data scientist, you will be encountering when you want to perform a single task until and unless a single condition haven't been satisfied. So to keep on repeating a same task again and again is known as looping itself. So one of a kind of a loop is for loop, another kind of loop is while loop. In my upcoming videos we'll surely talk about for loops, but for now I want to talk about while loops. So how we define or how we create while loops is, let's take a variable I and assign it a value 1. Now just to create a while loop, I'll say while, okay, while, and and here we'll give a condition. So condition can be anything. Condition can be a kind of a logical operator, or can be related to this I, the variable that we have initialized, or it can be literally anything. So while, so here let me give it a condition. 1 is smaller than 10, or smaller than or equal to 10. I'm saying 1 because I is right now equal to 1. I have already initialized it. We will put a colon here and hit enter. So these two spaces, if you hit tab, it will skip two spaces. This shows that this is a part of while loop and it is sort of indented. Now this loop has been stored, and indentation is only means that that this block of code should be stored to it be to so that it can be used later. So we'll just simply say print I, just to illustrate you guys that what it is doing, while loop is doing. And after printing I'll say I equals I plus 1. So here the thing is thing in Python, whenever you want to do things like this, I equals to I plus 1, or you have to increment a specific value by a specific number again and again, what you do, a shorthand kind of a thing, is this is exactly same as this. Wait, I is equal to I plus 1. So these two statements are exactly the same. So this statement and this statement is exactly the same in Python. So this is more or less like a shorthand to the Python. Now just to illustrate you how the flow of the loop is working, or how the Python is looping through and while loop is executing, I like to show you one more thing, guys. Let's print this loop is going to start, and let's say here done with loop. Okay, so let's execute this, and here it is allocating some memory and some RAM plus some disk space to our Python Google Colab so that it can run properly. Okay, let it initialize. So now it is connected, and here it is. So now what is happening is, when Python go through these 4 or 5 line of codes, first it will be like, okay, I have to print this statement. Now the initial there is a variable I that has been initialized. Now it is while. Okay, while is a loop, so there must be a condition. If you don't give any condition here, it might throw you back. It might happen that Python will throw you back errors. So okay, this is the condition. I is smaller than or equal to 10. Until and unless this is true, I will continue the looping. Let's say util, not util, until true. So until this statement is true, Python will continue looping this block of code, this 2 line of block of code. So when Python sees 10, that is equal to 10, but equal to 10, and when it sees 11, it is not printing 11 because it break the statement here and here, break the statement here and get out of the loop. Then Python sees this print statement. Okay, done with the loop, then done with another loop. So that's all about while loops. So what are for loops? For loops are special kind of loops in Python, as it allows you to do complex tasks in very subsequent manner. So how we initialize for loop is just write for and we'll take a variable here x. Let's say we are looping through a string for x in, let's say the string is banana, and then a colon, hit enter, and then let's say print x. If I run this thing, so okay, so now what Python is doing here is Python is saying for x, for every letter in x, or for every letter in banana or this string, do this print x. So first x will store b and give us out b, then a, and then like other things. So this is exactly what about for loop is, how for loop works. We can also make this happen with a type of array. Let's say we have a list of friends, 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 and we have this array. Let's say friend 1, friend 2, and then friend 3. So here I have a list of 3 friends of mine, friend 1, friend 2, and friend 3. And now for friend, or you can say for any, you can get any letter or variable here for x in friends, we will print x. So if I hold shift and hit enter, it will show me friend 1, friend 2, and friend 3. One more thing in for loop is, if I comment this thing out and for x in, let's say I specify a range here, and in this range I'd like to, so let's say give a word or a range of 10 here and try to print x out, it will show you 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but not 10. So it will give you the whole complete list of numbers or the range that lie in the range of 10 but not including 10 or excluding 10. So this is how it works. It might seems to be pretty much illogical, but once you get started with Python and once you get familiar with the concepts and you start working in Python, you'll find that this is a very, why this is happening, or this is a very special, or you can say very necessary thing to get to be considered. So that's all about for loops, guys, and you can do pretty much anything with for loops. So do as much complex coding in for loops as you can. Don't be afraid of what will happen if I do this or do that. Don't be afraid of traceback errors, because that's the place, or that's the point when you get traceback error and you solve it. That's the point where you start getting things on.